since I started with hypnotherapy, I
Yeah,
got my certification and or my diploma and my board certification at the end of last month, September.
that's incredible.
I've been
So,
studying for about almost a year through 3 or 4 different. I have a whole bunch of stuff on my laptop that I could have
so
all
this
kinds of.
was something that interested you
Yes,
for
it
how
did.
long prior to this? About a year?
Um, about a year for
Okay.
hypnotherapy. Yeah, NLP I've been interested in about maybe 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Um, it got more and more, and then I I realized how much free time I had, and I was didn't want to waste it, And
Sure,
I've
sure.
always been the guy that a lot of my younger relatives would go to and friends and ask questions. And so I started helping people out, and then I started studying life coaching, and
Mm,
then I talked to my friend who was a life coach, and she was like, "Oh, I don't do it for money. I do it to help my people." And I said, that's kind of what I want to do. So, and I had been thinking the same thing, and I watched how she did things, and I watched how you do things, and some others, and you know Tony Robbins and people like that, and I got more than interested. I got to where I was, okay. So I finished up my class that I had had for over a year and just was kind of,
mm.
once in a while. And I finished that up and got that certification, the NLP, and it's very boring, but it's very interesting to me, you know.
Right.
Yeah. And and after doing that, I kept seeing things for hypnotherapy, and then I'd watch ads for hypnotherapy courses and things like that. And when I bought my first life coaching course, they had a special on hypnotherapy course, the same instructor. And okay, so I bought that, and it just sat there. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to do that too. So that was also very boring.
Because that, in a way, is like a reprogramming.
It is. It's sort
It's
of
like
like,
a, yeah, hypnotherapy.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I know a lot of people know stage hypnosis, and it's similar. It's hypnosis. You get someone into a state, a trance state, or a hypnotic state, and it's basically an extreme relaxation, uh,
Mm.
and to the
It's
point.
very relaxing.
Yes, yeah.
It's
So
extremely relaxing. And it
it,
is,
yeah,
similar to a meditative state.
it yeah, it is a in my
It's
opinion,
like a
it's
meditative state. And people, even that, you know, don't, aren't into the hypnotherapy, just
yeah,
getting them into that state works
right.
wonders for stress,
It does. It
works
really does.
wonders. And I recommend just giving it a try
Yeah,
for that reason,
I do as well.
and the
Yeah.
experience. I mean, it was a wonderful experience.
It really is. I enjoy it
Yeah.
myself.
Yes.
And basically you're turning, if it's done correctly,
Hmm.
um, you're what a hypnotist will do is give the conscious mind something else to do while it engages with the unconscious mind. What with
Hmm.
the unconscious. So you have the conscious, there's suggestions and things that you do when you're bringing someone in, when you're inducing them, or the induction, that gives your unconscious mind something to think about, and then you can, you know,
And
um,
is that exactly like what it does? It takes the conscious and the subconscious or unconscious mind and connects them.
well,
They're
it kind of gives the conscious a break, and that's
okay.
why you feel rested. Your conscious mind, when you're awake
Hmm.
and you're, in the beta state, you're always thinking. You just can't stop thinking.
Right. And we're thinking 24/7 when our eyes are open. Forget it. Yeah.
Yeah, if your eyes are open, yeah, yeah,
That's
definitely. And and once you're in a trance state, your thinking mind takes a break, and it's exactly like meditation, uh, like yogic meditation, anything transcendentalism, very similar. It's all, to me, it's all about the same thing. I asked my my instructor about self hypnosis, and because we went through it really fast, and her whole thing is, do you meditate? And I said yes, and she said, meditate, read the chapter that we have, but basically it's meditating with a purpose about what is going to happen. And it's similar to just regular hypnosis, only you're doing it
So
with
you're
yourself.
giving us some tips and tricks here.
Yeah, yeah. If you know
Right.
how to meditate, if you've been taught how to meditate correctly, and
Yes.
you know
And
how,
you need to set
yeah,
one intention. And I think we can't force it either. And that's a big thing for
yeah,
people. And they say, oh, I just, I can't meditate. I sit there and I try and I try.
right,
But I tell them your mind is going to wander. Your
yeah,
mind is going to wander, and that's the meditation process, releasing things and getting them out of your head. You
yes,
know, sometimes the meditation it's going to be like a busy intersection.
oh, yeah,
It's going to be like a busy intersection. So
yeah,
that, people expect like hypnosis. And
yeah,
I
yeah,
think if, they're not feeling as if they're getting or benefiting out of, anything out of meditation, that's where you come in.
exactly,
And I
exactly,
think, that's a big deal for some people who,
yeah,
are in a vigilant state. A lot of people who, were born in a very chaotic, traumatic situation,
yes,
came from, an abusive childhood, things like that.
right,
It's almost like they're constantly in a state of vigilance, and not a good vigilance, just always,
right, right. And that's where
yes,
a lot of narcissists come from. Um,
yes,
Criminal, a lot of times,
criminal behaviors, yes,
yeah, it all starts, like you said, when you're how you're raised and how you're treated. When you grow up without love, and even as an adult, it makes it difficult to do things like meditate or, uh, well, for some people, or to show empathy. I've never had an issue with that,
mm.
but I can see that a lot of it is your experiences as a child, and that goes back to what the NLP founders figured, that it's all programming. The way people interact with children pretty much sets them up for how they're going to be as an adult. It's not 100%, and it's nothing that's set in
Not a
stone.
hundred proof, nothing's 100 proof,
Right,
right?
right. And it's not going to set anything in stone that, oh,
Yeah,
I'm treated bad, so I'm going to, or a lot of things. He was a bully. His father was a bully to him, so he's going to be a bully. Not always, or she. Not
yeah,
always.
yeah,
No.
because you can get, you can
Yeah.
have one end of the spectrum to the other,
Sure.
and you
Sure.
can have the same children raised by the same parents, or
Oh,
different children raised by the same parents, and
sure.
one may follow in footsteps and the other may go a completely other direction.